Well, good morning. This is Tim Kuhl. Just want to welcome you to this webinar, give you a sneak peek to our current client base. We may have some other people that aren't currently clients that are joining us as well. It's 10 o'clock, and so I want to make sure that I honor your time and respect that, and just want to be able to show you a little bit about what's coming. I know for some of you this has been a long-awaited time, and I appreciate your patience. Our whole team appreciates your patience and diligence with us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. A couple of things real quick. You can, in the questions section down below, you can list questions. And can someone verify whether you can hear me or not? Okay, I have had someone, great, thank you, appreciate that for letting me know. So yeah, everyone is currently muted on this. If you want to have, if you want to ask questions, if you could type them in the question box below, that would be great. That would be very helpful for us. And I will try to get to as many as I can. Whatever I am not able to get to on the webinar, we will go ahead and do as follow-up. And so, as always, you can email us, and I'll show you some other quick ways for you to give us feedback. So, all of you are familiar with our current version of MINISTReSPACE. And so that's what you're used to looking at. And this has served us well, and I trust it has served you well since about 2008 when this first came out. But we've been wanting to enhance this for quite some time, and believe that we have got a great new look and feel. So let me show you what version 2.0 is going to look like. It is this. We're looking at the dashboard right now of what 2.0 will look like. So it's a cleaner, fresher kind of look. The dashboard, many of the features stay the same. The green, the yellow, the red for your approved events, your pending events, your events in conflict. And then if you're an administrator, we still have that lower administrative section with the approve and decline features in it. A couple of things that we've added to this is now you can mouse over these items and you can see what is involved in those different events. In addition, and I'll go into this more detail, is we've provided the opportunity for an administrator to approve an event with conflicts. And if that's the case, there'll be this little triangle right here that when you mouse over it lets you know that that event has been approved with conflicts. And that symbol stays consistent throughout the entire system, and you'll see that in other places as well. From the dashboard, you have an Add an Event button, which takes you into the scheduler. 3 new features that we've added to the dashboard. One is all events. If you recall, in your previous version, you could see your events unless from the dashboard, but you could not see the entire system's events, and you had to go to a calendar to do that. Now you'll be able to click on this button, and it'll take you to all events, so you can see all the system events. In addition, you now can filter. So if I grab this status heading and move it up to the top, it will now filter this based on the status. And then once it's filtered there, I can then also filter it by the date. If you notice here, it starts at 10/29, goes to 11/4. If I click on date, it refilters it and does it in chronological order. So a lot of new features with the with this all events. This is just a tremendous little tool for everyone. Then the, I'm sorry, I got a little dissuaded there with questions. So all events. The next is My Drafts. This I'm extremely excited about. In the previous system, if you didn't complete your event creation and you walked away from the computer or got tied up on a phone call or something and you came back, if it timed out, you lost all of your information. Now, you'll be able to create drafts. And so once you fill out the first screen on an event, you can stop, You'll go to drafts. You can come back and finish a little bit more and come back and do that continuously until you submit it for approval. So this is just a great little feature. Then in addition, we have decline. So if I'm a user and an administrator has declined my event, it'll list here. If there's none declined, it'll say 0, but it'll let me know the declined event. And when I open up the declined event, it gives me my reason. The reason will also be in an email that is sent. But this is a tremendous way for people to not have to re-enter the data. If something's declined, they'll be able to see the declined event. They can go in, make modifications, and then resubmit it. As before, all of the event names are links back into the event. You can now also filter so if you have 100 items and you see an entry list down here that lets you know how many entries you have for that. But if you wanted to then start filtering by the word event, or if you know that something was a group had in the name, then it allows you to search and do a quick query that way. And if you have multiple entries, over here you're allowed to expand the number of entries you can view on a screen at a time. So anywhere from 10 to 100 gives you that flexibility. So that's a quick look at this portion of the dashboard that you're all familiar with. A new feature down here in the bottom, which is something that we would ask you to use as much as possible, this question mark allows you to enter feedback. So if there's an issue that's come up that you need feedback on, you can also check this box and it'll create a screenshot of the page that you're on. That way you don't have to have us constantly ask you, can you send us a screenshot? You can just send it with your inquiry right up front. And then this section here will allow you to give us ideas. What are some things that you'd like to see happen? So the feedback's more for I've got an issue or something didn't work quite the way I was expecting it to. And then the ideas gives us a form that we can start looking at what are the suggestions for future enhancements. You will have your name now. It won't be what used to be called My Info. You have your name will be up there, and when you open up that, it'll give you your name, email address, password, and then email alerts. And versus different than what we had in the original system, email alerts is automatically checked. So this way, someone doesn't, by accident, not get emails. But if someone on your staff or your team does not want to receive emails, they can go in and they can click that. Now let's look at the sidebar. Instead of having the tabs like we used to across the top, we've now created a sidebar, and the sidebar is collapsible. If you need to see a little bit longer or wider screen, you can collapse that. So the dashboard is the first thing. This event section with the little plus button here, when you open it up, you get 4 drop-downs. All events is the same as the all events over here. The add event, again, is the same as the add events here. The space scheduler is going to be the daily view that you're used to seeing in the current system. I can expand all. A couple of things that we've done to change this, though, is we've stayed again with the green, yellow, and red, but the hashed areas on the front and back now show you the teardown as well as the setup for that event. Before, it was just one solid color, and it was hard to tell when the event started and stopped unless you drilled down into it. And instead of cluttering up the calendar with the names in all of this, which became very hard to read at times, we've created it so that when you put your cursor over it, you then get the information about that event. But it just gives a nice clean look and makes it a lot easier to tell when your teardown and setup is for your staff. Again, as we had before, you can double click on it and you can go directly into the event scheduler. Then we've added an export events tab here. This used to be only available to administrators. Now it's available to everyone, where you can export to Google Calendar or Outlook. You can do it by all events, or if you just strictly want to do public events. You can also sort by category. And then you create this. It creates the URL for you that you can copy and paste and put into whatever other system you're looking to use. So this is given everything right at your fingertips. We believe it to be a much more effective way for you to manage this. Then we've added new calendar views. And in the calendar views, here's my monthly view. Again, the colors staying the same. But we've added a daily view, a weekly view, as well as an agenda view. So it gives you more flexibility. Each one of the events, when you click on it, you get a pop-up that'll show you the date, the time, the spaces, and who created it, and a button to drill down into the event, or I can go back to my calendar. We have fixed the current setting that only 3 events at a time will be shown, but if you see what's the universal sign for more, the 3 dots, when you click on it, it drills you down into the daily view. And if I want to go back to my monthly, I can go back to my monthly as well. Now, I mentioned earlier the ability to approve with conflicts. We've had a number of you that have said, hey, our youth uses our gym on Wednesday night. Junior high uses one end, senior high uses the other end. And when we create an event for that, we always end up with a conflict. And we wanted to give you the ability to approve an event where you have a known conflict that's okay. And so when an administrator approves it with conflicts, when you look at the calendar, you'll have the green box for approved, but you'll have red lettering so that at a glance you'll know that that's an event that's approved with conflicts. From this screen, you can also go and create an event. You can go back to the daily space scheduler, that's the grid format. You can also search by an individual space. So if I want to run a calendar just for a specific space in my building, I can run it for just that space. Or I can run it for all. So those are the new calendar views, which I'm very, very excited about. And I think you'll find them as a great tool as well. The next is the Find a Space. And Find a Space pretty much works just like it always has, where you can select a date. You can select a date, a time range for that as well. So let's say from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And you can put the capacity in like before, or if you want, you can put 0 in, and 0 will then return all spaces that are available during that time frame, regardless of the occupancy, but they're not in conflict with any other events. So if you're looking for a wider range, then you also have the option to search. So if you're looking for something that starts with classroom, then you can search even within that search. So we've added searches within searches to try to make your jobs a little bit easier. So that's Find a Space. The next is the setup. The event reports. And this is something we've spent a great amount of time on, as many of you have requested. There are probably other things that we will do in the very near future to improve this further. But let me show you what we've done with the events report. First off is we've got 2 basic reports now. We've got an event list that is similar to the event list now, and we have an event setup which is significantly different. The event setup allows you to not only search by start and end dates, but you can do all-day events only. You can do public or not public. You can search by the name. So if you wanted to filter by part of a name, you can put it in here. You also can search by status. If you put no status in here, it'll be multiple. It will be all your statuses. If you want multiple statuses, if I want to see approved and pending, by holding down my by holding down my control key and clicking, I can have multiple items that I can check. So it just gives you more flexibility for how you want to run your reports. Again, you can run by category. You can even now run by event owner. Then how you want to view it, you can view it by no page break. You can view it by event, so every page will have an event, or you can break it by the date, so that every day, whenever that runs its course, it will page break to another time. You have multiple options then that you can search by. Setup times, teardown times, show your notes, show links, documents, configurations, and then showing your spaces. I can show all my spaces, or I can just show a space, or I can show a space within a space, whatever I want to do. And I can do multiple, so I'm not limited to a single anymore. Same thing with resources, and same thing with services. So let me run a report. The report builder will grab all of the data. It will pull it down into my report, and I absolutely put nothing in there. So let me run the report on my approved events. It'll grab the information, it'll query the system for me, and again, I come up with nothing. So I apologize for that. Let me go and show you our event list. So on the event list from today, I'm going to run this, and it will show me all of my items that I have for today. It would show the spaces, resources, and services as well for that. A new feature that we've added is the ability to save reports. So now you can save reports, and you can add them in, and you click the report, you load it, and it will load the criteria for you. So if I've loaded that criteria, I can then run the report. It'll pull the information for you. A couple of things that it does now, the system allows you to associate the resource to the space or the service to the space, or the notes associated with an individual space. Before, if you recall, it kind of just lumped them all together, and you really couldn't tell what went with what. So now we've changed that. I can also see all of my notes. I know we've had several of you that have asked about the notes. And so now all of the notes associated with each individual space, resource, or service. You can then download this into multiple formats. So PDFs, CSVs, Excel, rich text, and TIFF files are probably the most common that you will use them for. So let me go back to the dashboard and to the sidebar. So those are reports. The message bar system is totally different as well. It'll give you a list of the messages that are unread. When you open up that message board, you'll then be able to see the messages that were sent, who they were sent from, what the message was about, event approved, or it was pre-approved or declined. And then you can drill down into the actual event. As with all of our grids, you can now search by event or date or message, so it gives you a lot more flexibility. Let me walk you through the setup section. The setup section has been totally revamped as well. So within setup, and again, the setup is only available to full administrators. So if you're not an administrator, just close your ears for a second. Within the general section, this is where you give your ministry a name. We have added the opportunity for you to put an open time. And what that means is whatever time you want events to default to in your time picker when you're creating the event, you can put that here. So if you never have events that start before 7 o'clock in the morning, or generally don't start before 7 in the morning, you can set 7 o'clock so that so when your time picker comes up, it's not starting at midnight. You can still schedule events at midnight or 6 in the morning, but that this saves you some time by having those pickers go directly to where it needs to be. Then the pre-approvals, if you're a church that uses pre-approval, this would be checked. If you're currently using or desire to use the disable conflict for resources or services so that you don't ever have conflicts with those, there'll always be conflicts on spaces, then you can check these boxes here. Your public link is here, and let me just show you what a public calendar looks like now. So the public calendar has a nice fresh view with the events. Again, you click on an event and you will get a pop-up with information about the event. But now you also have the ability to have day, week, month, as well as agenda views for your website. So that's the public calendar view. You can still hide your logo and hide the request button on the logo. And then if you're using our HVAC interface, CoolSpace, your API will be down here. And if you're integrating with Shelby Arena, your API key will be here. Plus, we're adding some additional integrations with other organizations, so those APIs will all be down here at the bottom. We have a separate section for loading your logo. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. The approval areas, same as before, you add an approval area, which then is assigned to a sub-administrator. Some of the features that we've added, though, is for all of your approval areas, you can now see how many sub-administrators have you assigned to that, and how many items have currently been assigned to that approval area. So it allows you to kind of track and do some analytics as to how those are being used. If you find that an area is never being used by a sub-administrator, you may elect to either change that or delete that approval area, which is easily done. You can change the name from the green buttons. You can delete it from the red buttons. The user section still allows you to have your users. Admins will be at the top. Users and sub-admins will be at the bottom. You can still make them active, unlock them. If you're a pre-approver church, then you'll know who your pre-approvers are. And if you need more information on pre-approvers, please don't hesitate to call us or drop us an email so we can explain that a little bit further. Categories, same as currently. You add a category, and this allows you then to filter for reports and whatnot. Again, you can delete or you can change the name directly from here. Forms have seen a major transformation. So in our forms section, if I wanted to create a form, let's just call this a test form. When I click on the save, it gives me multiple options. Currently, all you can do is text boxes. Now you can do drop-downs with multiple options. You'll be able to do check boxes. You can also do links. If you want to redirect people from the forms into some other URL, you can give it a name, add the question, and then add the URL here. So you have more options. So as this rolls out, you may want to go back into your forms and delete some old ones, add some new ones back in. The other thing with forms that you can do is you can reorder the questions. So if I wanted to move this up, I can click the green button and it will move that question up. And so I can move them up and down. You also have the option of previewing the form before you release it. So in this case, I have a text box, I've got a drop down, I've got a link, and I've got a checkbox. So multiple options for that. The next section in the setup is a document library. In the current system, you were able to upload documents, but you had to upload a document every time you wanted one to be associated with a space resource or service. In the document library section now, you're able to create a library of all the documents you want to have. Again, they can be Word documents, JPEGs, PDFs, Excel, PNGs. So multiple different types of file sizes. And then you can change name and delete again, just like with all of our other grids that we have. Then when you're creating the space, you'll be given the opportunity to select from this library. So you only have to upload it one time, and then you can, so if you had 20 classrooms that can all be set up the exact same way and you want to assign the same document to it, or if you have a setup form that you want to assign to every space, you can do that now without having to upload it every time you want to add it. Spaces, resources, and services, again, the heart of the system. We've added a nice new cleaner look to the trees. The hierarchical trees still work the same. You can add a space to the base, and you'll see references to parents and children. Just for clarification, the top node of a hierarchical tree is considered the parent. The lower nodes are considered children, and then you can have children of children, and you can have children of children of children. So on and on that goes. A couple of really nice features. Let's say I click on room 109. I can go in and add, or I can edit room 109, or I can add a child to room 109, or I can add a new space to the overall hierarchical, or, praise the Lord, you can now delete a space. Most of you have used that Z unused spaces for far too long, and again, please accept my apology for that. But now you can delete spaces, so no more having to figure workarounds. Let me show you what it looks like if I was going to edit or create a new space. Name, what parent do I want to assign it to if I want to assign it to a parent? What approval area? Is there a required form? Can it be scheduled? Requires approval, capacity, and description. Those are all very similar to what we've done before, just in a little different layout here. Then you can add configurations as before. So you can have multiple configurations for that space. Click back to my item. And then this is where I can upload the documents. And this gives me, there's my documents that I've already loaded. But in this document section here, any document that's still in the library that's not already been loaded is now here. So I don't have to try to guess at it. The full document library will come as part of this drop-down menu, and you select the items that you want. I know none of you can actually talk and me hear you, but if I could get an amen, that would be great. The resources and services function the exact same way as spaces as far as the setup goes. And we have kept groups, again, the same exact way. I can add a group, I can delete a group, I can change a group, I can edit it, there's all the items in the group, and then at the bottom of it are the other items that I can add to it if I want to. So that's the general setup. So let's walk through an event creation. I'm going to show you some of the new features that are part of this event creation. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add an event, or I could have gone to the dashboard and added the event, or I could have gone to the space scheduler. There's multiple entry points there. But let's call this our webinar event. And for most of you that know me, know I can't spell. Again, I can select one of my categories. I can give it a description. As before, if I want this to go on my public calendar or be signed to a public URL, I can click public, but now we've added a neat feature. If I click public, you can add notes that are visible on the public calendar. So being in the South, we'll just ask y'all to come. And if you have a link that you want to put on that public calendar, let's say that you have an event registration system that you want people to be linked back to, or some page on your website that you want them to link back to, you can add that link here, cut and paste, put it in, you get the link. Number of people, I think we have 101 people on this call right now. Then another neat feature is we've added this add contacts. If you want to add people to receive an email notification when the event's approved, you can click this, whether they're part of the system or not. So this is tremendously helpful if someone in the congregation has requested an event and you've had to fill it out for them because they don't have access to the system. It allows them to get notified when it's done, or an outside group. So you allow a local outside group to use your facility, they would get notified. Now, I saw on the list of people that my friend Sue Mays out in Arkansas was on the call, and so let me tell her, as well the rest of you, kind of a neat new feature is these auto-approve events. As an administrator of the current system, everything that you touched was automatically approved unless there was a conflict. And for some of you who wanted to be able to create events as an administrator but still have it go through the normal approval process with the sub-administrator approvals, you had to create a second login for yourself, and it became cumbersome and a little bit problematic. So now, if you're an administrator, when you're creating an event, you'll have this auto-approve event, which gives you the option, if that is unchecked, it will now go through the normal workflow. And so when you create it, you're almost creating it as a user, and it goes into the pending mode. So this will save you from having to have 2 logins. As an administrator, you can have just one single login. So I'm going to leave that unchecked as auto-approve. Again, you can pick your time. If I had picked my time from the event, from the space scheduler, the date would have already been here. But let's pick it for today. And we'll do the setup. See how it defaulted to 7 o'clock right there? That's because my open time was 7 o'clock. But let's say I want setup to start at 5 o'clock. My event start time, I want to be at 6 o'clock. The event end we'll do at 7 o'clock. And the event teardown we'll do at 9 o'clock. So these time pickers have changed. You know, it's no longer that drop-down thing that I know gave some of you fits before. The recurrent section has changed as well. Daily, weekly, monthly, annual. So let's do this weekly. I invite you all back every week to come and do this. So every 1 week on Thursdays. And now you can put in the number of occurrences. And we've limited to 99 occurrences to start with. So let's do this every week. So I'll do 52 weeks, 52 occurrences. But now you have the option of clicking a reminder so that the last month before the occurrence ends, you will get an email reminder saying, hey, you're about out of occurrences. Do you want to extend that or not? So at this point in time, I have my details screen completed. And because I have things in where they're supposed to be, the screens turn green. At this point, I can save the event as a draft, and I can go on and do other things. And it will go into your drafts folder on your dashboard, or I can continue through the process. Because I selected, okay, it helps if I pick the right time for this. There we go. Now, instead of buttons like we had before, you have the names of the different screens that you can go to. So once I've completed the details, if I selected that I want to add contacts, it will take me to contacts. If I did not select that box, it would automatically take me to spaces. So now I can add a contact. And this is going to be Mr. Jones, and it's jones@church.org. Click Add Contact, and now he will be added to a list of people that will receive emails when this event gets approved. I can either click Next, or I can go to Spaces. Now, a couple of neat things with Spaces. You are going to love this. First off is if I click the top node or the parent of a tree, it will select all of the children associated with it. If I uncheck it, it unchecks all of them. Now, you saw a green check mark. I must select 109 again. What that has done now is the system has automatically checked, is room 109 available, and not just for the first occurrence like we used to do, but is it available for every occurrence in my series? If it was in conflict, there would be a red triangle that would show up to let you know that it's in conflict. Let's say I want that, and I want classrooms 1 and 2 as well. Again, I can go to next, which will take me to my resources. And for resources, I want to have the portable sound system, and it's available. This will save you so much time of having to go back and forth with things. I'm extremely excited about this. And then let's do the general cleaning. You may have noticed that when I click on the parent, it does all the children. If I uncheck any of the children, it unchecks the entire parent, and so that you do it individually. The next step then is either clicking next or going to setup. And setup is where you do all of the detail work associated with this event now. So I've got my spaces, my resources, and my services. If there is a form, the form will show up here, and if it's not been filled out, there'll be a red indicator to let you know that it's not been filled out. So let me go into forms. How many chairs do I need? And I need 25, and I want the red chairs. And I want 6 tables, and I want rectangular, and I do not need a podium. Go back to save, and now I get a check mark to let me know that my form has been completed. So before I move to my portable system, let me drill down into 109. I haven't added my configurations, my notes. This blue box under Docs lets you know that there are documents associated with this item. So it takes me back to my menu, and so if I want to look at any of these, let's say I want to look at Classroom 1, it would allow me to, again, pull up that document. Click back, takes me back to my event. I can now add these other items by clicking this green box here. So I want to pick my configuration, and I want to do Classroom 2. I want to add some notes. So we need to get internet connection for this and click Save. So now I've added my configuration and my notes. I can drop down here to my portable sound system. I can change the form, or I can complete the form on this. Do I need a sound person? I do not. What kind of microphone do I prefer? I prefer a lapel. There's a link here that I can go to if I need to, and does this event need to be recorded? Yes, I want that recorded. Click Save, it'll take me back to my dashboard, to my grid, and now it's been marked. Now, you're going to love this new feature. If you recall, in the old system, I have no idea what room the portable sound system is to be set up in. So if I click on this green box, you can have configurations for these items, but the more important thing is I can assign it to which one of these rooms do I want that to go into. So I want the portable sound system to go to room 109, and I'm going to add a note. I want to set up on the left side. Click Save. And now you can see room 109 is associated with the portable sound system, and the portable sound system is associated with room 109. Again, just tremendous way, particularly for your setup crews, to stay ahead of the game and not have to try to figure out themselves. My next step is to look at the availability. We already know these items are available, but it gives it to us in a grid format where I can see them all. This also allows me to I can delete an item per occurrence. You can still, as in the old system, edit an occurrence. You can delete an occurrence. You can add a out-of-sequence occurrence. You can also sort these. If I want to sort by times or names, you can sort those. At this point, I can submit it, and by submitting it, then it goes into the normal workflow. And because, even though I'm an admin, I selected not to auto-approve, my event's going to show up as pending. Or if I want to look at a summary of the whole thing real quickly, I can click on Show Event Summary. It gives me all of my occurrences. There's 52 occurrences, my times, my spaces, resources, services, and lets me know that I have 260 reservations. It's 52 times all of those equals 260 reservations that are pending. I click Save Event. I get a pop-up that lets me know that it's been saved and it's waiting approval, and then I can click and go back to my dashboard. As an admin, when I go back to my dashboard, there it shows under pending, and because I'm an admin, it also shows up here. So I can just go in and I can click that. I get a warning, do I really want to do this or not? Click yes. And now my webinar event has been added to my approved items. Some of the things that I think you will agree are extremely exciting is that real-time checking of the availability of items, the look and feel, I believe, to be stellar at this point in time, and just extremely exciting. So I'm going to pause for just a second. I'm going to look at a couple of questions. Sheila asked a question, can I see all events as I used to in the past without having to click on the daily view? Yes, you'll be able to see that from the monthly calendars and from the daily calendars. The monthly calendar printing, yes, you can print the monthly calendar, but the problem is with the limitation of 3 exposed events at a time, unless you open up those, you won't see those items. So only approve, you'll only be able to print what you can see. There was Dan asked a question, are the form questions going to be added to the forms? Not sure I follow that one, Dan. If you want to try to restate it, that'd be great. How do I remove the request an event option from the calendar? There is still a button on the general that allows you to do that. Oh, Dan's question, add to the reports. Thank you, Dan. Yes, you will have the option for the form answers in the event setup report. The form answers will be populated there. Let me see what else. If you haven't picked up on it already, the speed is significantly faster. I am not connected to a hardwire. I am doing this wirelessly on purpose, and I'm quite a distance away from a router. And we are using our real production cloud servers that are going to be hosted by Azure, which is a Microsoft company. And so this is not me sitting at the server and pumping it out. So you'll be able to, the speed is going to be significantly better, thank God. It's taken us long enough, and I'm sorry for that as well. So yes, Christine, you can now delete users. And you also can reassign the ownership of an event. Once an event is created, an admin has the ability to reassign the ownership to another person in the system. Yes, all of your data, Diane, will be transferred to the new 2.0. The only thing that you would have to re-enter is the logos and the documents. Those are being stored outside of the system now and not as part of the database to help us with the speed of the system. And because they're housed in another repository, those will have to be added, but everything else will already be there. See, Rita, I showed a preview of the form. I hope that was helpful. See, and thank you, Hank and Corey, for the amens. Now I feel better already. And just so you all know, we are recording this. I know that some of you have had some audio issues, and I don't know if that is a GoToWebinar issue or if that's been my phone. Either way, I apologize. We will have this available for you all to see as well. Chris, you mentioned Chris Ackerman, great suggestion on the time picker, and that is something that is on our first round of enhancements. Yes, Dan, there will be a an option for end date by calendar in occurrences. That'll be coming shortly. Christine, if you would like to talk to me offline about your question about pastor on call, I'd be more than happy to explain how some of our clients have used that. And Chris, you and I can talk offline about the HVAC system. There's several other questions here, but I'm going to be very cognizant of everyone's time. So let me give you a couple of housekeeping type things, and they'll answer some of these questions for you. This week will be sending you out new tutorials for the system, as well as a very detailed document of release notes of all the features that are being released with this. Also, sometime next week, we will have video tutorials. It'll be a library of tutorials that will have each of the different access points and feature sets in a tutorial format that you can watch and your staff can watch. We would love you all to give us some feedback, not just what you've put in this meeting, but post-webinar feedback. And another thing that you can do, if you go to https://app.espace.cool, you can log in to this new system now using your current login credentials, and it will have all of your current information up to October 11th. And so if you wanted to play around with it, you can play around with it, and I'll resend that URL, but you just have to love the fact that it's a .cool and not a .com. I appreciate the internet recognizing my last name. But you can go in and play with it and run some of your own tests and see your own data. And if you could log your questions and items in this question mark down here below, that would be just a tremendous help to us. Now, several of you in the questions have asked, when's this going to release? Assuming that the elections do not turn the world upside down this coming week, next weekend we are planning to release this. So sometime over the weekend of the 8th and 9th, and we'll send a notice out to everyone, because during that period of time there will be some shutdown on the system. We'll try to do it late at night so it doesn't interrupt you all. But we will release it next weekend. We'll send out a notification prior to the release and post the release. One thing to keep in mind is if you're going to play with the system between now and then, that's fine. But when we push it out on the 8th and 9th, it will wipe all of the old data. It'll grab all of your current data from version 1.0 and push that into the new system. So if you put events in over the next week or so in the new version, those will be gone when we push it out on the 8th or 9th. And then our intent is between now and the end of November is to have a second set of pushes with whatever bug fixes we find and you help us find. We have another set of enhancements that we're going to push before the end of the month. Plus, if there are items that you all are able to suggest or help us with between now and the end of November, we would sure love to try to incorporate as many of those as possible. So that's Ministry 2.0. I cannot tell you how excited I am about it, and I hope you are as well. Again, don't hesitate to send us an email at support@coolsolutionsgroup.com. Put comments here, or just tell all your friends. So thank you so much for your time. I look forward to hearing from you in the near future, and thank you for all your support over the last several years. Have a great day. Bye-bye.